Hi there, in this video we're going to do this pretty looking light leak transition. I go on a little bit of a tangent in this one. It is useful tangents, okay, but the short version, if you're just kind of revising here, is basically you import a light leak bit of video, and then you change the opacity blending mode to screen, and basically you're there. But there's other things I want to share in this video with you, so let's get into it. All right, so to spice this one up, we're going to add a few little extras as well as doing that light leak transition. So I'm working on the last project here. I want to bring in the sequence that we worked on earlier. Okay, so if you didn't work on that Irish tourism sequence, just bring in the raw footage. Okay, just dump that on a new timeline, bring in A and B. If you did do it, I'm going to show you a little trick. So we're going to import by double clicking in this dark area here, or using Command I on a Mac or Control I on a PC. And let's find that tourism island. Okay, for my one, it's under exercise files, tourism island, and it's in our project files. Okay, there it is there. So I can import it. I can import the whole entire project or just the selected sequence. If you bring in just the sequence, it'll bring in just the videos that were used in that sequence, which is kind of handy. Do I want to create a new folder with the imported stuff to kind of maybe separate them? I don't. And do I want to allow duplicate media? It might mean that you already have them installed. We don't, so it doesn't really matter. But for you, it's probably off by default. It's nice that you don't have duplicates here in your project panel. All right, it's going to show me all the sequences I have. And it looks like I have none. And I bet you I know where it is. It's in one of these. Does everybody end up with their sequences in the wrong place? Ah, my file structure is meant to be great, but then the sequences end up wherever the raw footage is. Anyway, so there it is there. So I can bring it in. All right, so there's my sequence and there's the footage that came through, okay, plus the audio, plus the folder structure. Super handy. Okay, I'm going to rename this one just so I don't get confused. Instead of road rising, this one's going to be my light leaks. Let's also bring in, let's actually put all our MP4s into the footage. Oh, look how tidy we are. So let's bring in inside the footage folder. I'm going to double click down here. I want to bring in exercise files under transitions, and it's called light leaks. There it is. Now I've downloaded one for you. There is a bunch more that I found. These are kind of free ones that I found for you guys from here. So Rocket Stock, AKA Shutterstock, have this. Just Google 13 free 4K light leaks if you want all the rest of them. Okay, there's a bunch of them in here. You can see, think inspirational wedding, travel. Okay, so there's some nice ones in here. I've just picked one for us, so you can go get the rest of them. You can obviously pay for them as well. I pay for mine normally through something like Envato Elements. That's really good. And Adobe Stock has some great ones as well. And it's not so much a transition, right? It's more of a thing that you overlay over the top. So it's not going to be our nice transition like in our effects, like a cross dissolve that fits in between it. Basically, they just straddle two clips. So let's open up my, where is it there? It's called Tourism. Oh, I'm inside the footage bin. Let's go up one. Okay, and where is it? It is that one there. So I'm going to open that up and I'm going to put them across these two. Okay, under my footage here, light leaks, and you just kind of dump it in between the gap. Okay, so before I do that though, a nice trick we're doing things like light leaks where you're trying to like do this transition is let's open it in the source monitor by double clicking at it. And I'm going to scrub through. It's really handy if you find a light leak or a smoke transition or any of these sorts of video transitions, okay, we're just overlaying it, where there's some sort of like full coverage, because then it hides the join. Okay, if there's not, it works, but it's better when there's a full join. So I found that full join, and did you know I can hit my M key to add a marker to my source file rather than just here on my timeline? Ooh, you do now. Okay, so I'm going to add, I think this has audio, which has nothing on it, which happens a lot. Okay, I'm going to drag just the video down and kind of lump it over the top here. And the cool thing about it is it should be snapping. If it's not, turn your snap on. Okay, and maybe the marker should snap to that edge there. At least I know where it is. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, plus, plus, plus. Okay, and let's have a little look. So it's already lined up. If it doesn't, who remembers the shortcut for kind of like nudging it left, nudging it right? Okay, well, you kind of remember something to do with the cursor keys. Hold Shift key down. Nope. Hold the Command key down on a Mac, Control key on a PC. Okay, and just kind of tap left and right and it'll jump frame to frame so you can kind of line it up nicely. Nice full whiteness there. All right, so let's move our timeline along, our CTI, to a part where it's a little bit more obvious. Okay, so I've got this kind of bluey thing. And all I need to do now really is just change the blending mode. So with it selected, go to my effects controls, and under opacity, you'll find one called blending mode. It'll set to normal, and you can pick any of these. The one that works in this case is screen. Okay, but you can play around with the rest of them. And basically the blending mode is the way that this top layer that you have selected blends with the stuff underneath. And screen will look different depending on the top graphic you're using. In our case, this light link versus what's underneath. So you're not going to get the exact same results every time. Okay, but screen's a good one. Another good one is overlay. It'll depend on the colors and the mood you're going for. Okay, generally, not always. Okay, but the tops of all these like little groups can be a good place to kind of jump through and start. Okay, but in our case, we've already worked it out. Screen works nicely. Also double check that this one is the right size, okay, but yours might not be. You might have to right click it and say set to frame size. Okay, it might get bigger or smaller depending. If your footage is 4K, you won't have to do anything, but if you're working with HD footage or your light leak is HD, you might have to match them up. Now with this thing as well is, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. It kind of, our median part or the middle part where it kind of goes full white and hides. Well, let's actually look at it, Dan. I've seen it because I've practiced before. You haven't seen it. Okay. So what we'll do is I've got my cursor kind of here. I'm going to use my sweet shortcut, remember, Shift K to kind of jump back a bit.
Always be at your back.
Ooh.
May the sun shine wind.
Ooh. I'm going to get rid of that noise that I did earlier on. We were just playing around with that. So here's my noise. Hitting delete on my keyboard to delete it. Shift K again. You have to be on your timeline for that to work. Shift K.
May the wind always be at your back.
And see mine loops.
May the wind.
Is yours looping? Okay, if yours isn't looping with the old Shift K, it's because
Always be at your back.
You'll notice my screen's changed since last time you saw it, because it's been the weekend, okay, since the last video. So I've kind of moved everything around doing other projects. So you can't see my looping thing because I moved that around. There it is there. If you can't see your looping, remember plus, the looping one is that one there. I can't see it, hang on, that one there. Drag it down to here, okay, and turn it on, and that Shift K will also loop it for a long time, which is cool.
May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine. May the wind.
Okay, so I like it, but there's a lot more going on afterwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the opacity down. So did we do this earlier? I can't remember. Let's do it again. You won't see these rubber bands on yours. Okay, so I'm going to use Shift plus to zoom in on my little video parts so I can see a little bit better. And I'm going to right click this top clip and go to show clip frames. No, I'm going to say show clip keyframes. Go to opacity, and even if it's got a dot next to it, click it again, and this will appear. See this little rubber band? Okay, you need to be zoomed in. See this little rubber band because it's so much easier adding keyframes to this thing for opacity. So right at the beginning here, I'm going to put in 2 keyframes at the beginning. This one here, I'm going to drag down here, just so there's a little bit more. It actually starts okay, but I'm just fading it in. And at the end here, I want it to kind of fade out a lot earlier. So how is he adding those keyframes, you might be asking? You hold down the Command key on a Mac, Control key on a PC, and just click. You can add a keyframe. You can delete them by selecting them, hitting delete on your keyboard. So I'm just going to make mine just not go on for so long. I'm going to drag the edge there.
At your back. May the
okay, just to make it a little quicker, even a bit further along. Okay, so that's that. Shift K.
May the wind always be at your back.
Bit better, cool. The other thing is that there's quite a strong tone in this one, and it's not what I need, it's blue. Okay, can you see here, it's quite blue. So to change the color of anything, there's 2 main ways. I'll show you both because we can. I'll show you why one of them's not as appropriate now. Okay, so changing color is probably the easiest and most common is to use effects and use something called tint. So effects panel, in my search, do tint, dump it onto your clip. Okay, and say map the black. It's kind of made it black and white. So the black bits and the white bits. So I want to make the black bits my color. So I'm going to make it red, let's say. Okay, I'm going to leave the whites at white. You can change them. Okay, but that's how to kind of change everything. Okay, but it's very mono color. Okay, so that's not what I need right now. So it's up to you. So I'm going to get rid of my tint, click on here, goodbye. I'm just going to use the Lumetri. So find a bit of my playhead where it's gone strong blue. There we go there. Because I don't want it to be all one color. I like that kind of variation in there. So I'm just going to use my temperature and tint. Okay, so to find something a bit warmer. I want that kind of like peachy warmness. Just because no real, you can play with all of this tone on this color light leaks, to kind of get it to be how you want it. Turn it down a little bit. All right, I'm going to use that in this case, but again, there's lots of ways to do this. Under creative, you can play around with the tints for both the shadows and highlights. Remember we did that earlier? If you want to do that, or you're not getting the right control with the tint and temperature up here, again, that appears in the color wheels. You can do the mid-tone shadows and highlights and adjust the colors. There's lots of ways of doing the same thing in Premiere Pro. All right, Shift K. Got to be clicking on the timeline. Shift K.
May the wind always be at your back.
All right, to use it again, we're just going to copy and paste it. Okay, copy and paste it. Obviously, if you download a few more of the light leaks, you can have different kinds of light leaks. But hey,
rains fall soft upon your field.
Oh, that's a bit.
Rains fall soft upon your.
I have no idea what we did to this earlier on. The opacity of this is down. I have no idea why. Probably in an earlier tutorial we're messing with it. But this one here as well, you might go and let's say that you only have one transition and you want to try and make it seem a little different. Okay, so my thing is waiting. Come on. Come on, computer, catch up. There it is. Okay, so let's say that you want to change it. You can change the tint, right? That's a nice, quick and easy way to say, actually, I want this to feel different without it being too different. And I might go in here as well and go right click and say, where is it? Speed and duration. And we might reverse the speed. Okay, so it's completely backwards.
And rains fall soft upon your field.
Yeah, it's different. All right, so that's a light leak. There are lots of them available out there online, and it's really the original footage that's going to give you the most kind of benefit in terms of, the way it looks. It's not an effect created. It's pre-created by somebody else, and we just kind of like stick them over the top to straddle and use as a transition. All right, so light leaks. Basically, import light leak, change it blending mode to screen, and that's it. Somehow I stretched this out for a very long tutorial, but we learnt some extras in there, I hope. All right, I'll see you in the next video.